We're ready to kick off final deep dive of the year. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to talk about what are the 5 keys to supporting your second level managers in 2023. You know, we talk a lot about what we can help you as a primary leader, as the top leader, but what are the things that you can look at as you end and finalize this 2022 and get into 2023. So just want us to watch a little fun video. We're going to just kick this off.
But Holland comes in for a pit stop. Time to refuel and change tires. Lou Moore himself changes the tires. Only 4 crew members, including the driver, are allowed to work on the car. It's a tense time. Holland stays in his seat, anxious to get away. Let's watch. The tires are changed at last. A crewman polishes the windshield as Holland moves away just 67 seconds after he stops.
All right, so just type in the chat how you felt when you watched that. Just type in the chat. What was the biggest thing you saw? Hard to sit still, I know. Wasn't it? You're sitting there going like, you got to go faster. You hear the sound going around as people were lapping. You see that one guy, he's in the corner, like using a hammer, trying to get the wheel off, right? It was just tremendous. So look, it's a different game today, and we can't stay with the same skills and the same tools. We all know that as leaders, but all the pressures that our managers, the managers underneath us are feeling, they're having all of these same challenges. So why don't you type in the chat, just type in the chat, what are the top 2023 manager challenges that you're going to experience at your company? What are the top 2023 challenges that your managers are going to experience at your company? Just put that in the... Yes, fast-paced. Yes, changes. Yes, lots of disruptions. Yeah, adapting to unexpected changes. Hybrid work. Good. Okay, awesome. Yeah, look, lots of challenges that are coming up in 2023. I wish I could take the crystal ball and have that crystal ball be something that we could all look at and say, this is exactly how 2023 is going to play out. Oh yeah, we have some other, couple other ones. Yeah, mindset changes about work from younger employees. Yes, the greatest shift that I've seen in doing work. So a lot of challenges that we have. And again, our people are having a lot of challenges also. So I'm going to launch a quick poll here. So just ask or answer this question, just launched it. Do you agree with the following statement? My managers are prepared to lead in 2023. You have fully agree, all the way down to You know, you have somewhat agree, then you have disagree. All right, got it. I'll let a couple more come in. Let's end that, and then let's share the results. So you can see the result, excuse me, you can see the results here. We have people, some people are really prepared, but a lot of people aren't. So this is going to be really good for you as you think about your own activities and the things that you need to do as a leader to get your managers prepared. So let's go to this next piece. Here's what we're going to focus on. We always focus on about the leaders at the top, but here's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the members who are right here. They're right below the leadership level. And it's really important that we provide them the tools and the best practices that they need so they can be successful. If we can help them be successful, then we can they can help the people underneath them be successful. Now, there's a saying, it says, people don't leave companies, they leave the managers who are leading them. And if our managers are extremely stressed out, if our managers don't have the tools and skills to operate today, then we're going to not allow them to be successful, and we might have a lot more turnover than we want. So we want to prevent that from happening. All right, so here's what's happening. I want to share this with you. These are scores from August of 2021. You know, we were probably roughly 15 months into COVID. And now I want to share with you the latest one that they did just a year later in August of 2022. And they wanted to take a look at how work-life balance is feeling to managers. And there's been a 20% decline in managers saying they have more work-life balance. As it relates to anxiety and stress, there's 40% worse in August of 2022 than in August of 2021. And then finally, there's been a 15% decline in satisfaction with the working environment. So there's a lot of stresses and strains that they have on them. I think our managers and all of our employees have done a fantastic job getting through and gritting through, you know, COVID and 2021 and all the way through 2022. But I want to talk to you about 5 things that you can focus on in 23 that's going to alleviate some of this stress and strain from them. Because look, we can keep if we wanted to, we can just keep the same alignment that we have right now. We can keep the same tools and the best practices that we have, and we can put new tires on the car. But what's going to happen is that the wear is going to happen again, and we're going to wear out the tires. And you know, we don't want to have because burnouts right now it's at an all-time high. And so as we look to 2023, what are the things that we can really look at? Remember, it's about making the most smart decisions the fastest. That's not only for you and your leadership team, but all the managers who are in your company. And again, if this is you here, if you can help them, you can help them to be successful. That's going to be really important, because if we can help our managers be successful, then they can put the hand out and help the other people that are further down below. They can help them be successful. Okay, so here's shift number 1 that I really want you to take a look at. And the shift is you need to lean in to what's happening. You need to lean in, don't lean back. I've been working with a lot of CEOs and company leaders, and they're going back to a lot of the old ways that they did business. And there's new skills and there's new tools that are needed today if you want to be successful. So let's talk about some of those and look at some of those and what you can do. Okay, got a second question for you here. Let's just do the Q&A poll. And the second question is based around skills. So I'm going to launch this. What percentage of leaders have the skills and the tools to lead in 2023? Now, I used this earlier this year, and so if you already know the answer, that's fine. But what percentage of leaders have the skills and the tools to lead in this new disruptive world? Okay, let the voting still come in. Good. All right. So let me share with you what the results are. So yeah, about 38% of you said 14%, and then about another third said 30%, and the other one said 55%. It's actually 14%. This is a study from Korn Ferry. Now, that's pretty shocking, because leaders don't have the skills and the tools that they need. And we can't just fake it until we make it. The other part of this study that was shocking to me was that 71% of employees said that their leaders don't have the skills and the tools necessary to get their company to this next level. And if you don't have the skills and the tools that you need, how are you going to be able to teach them to the people underneath you? So this is really important that we take a look at this piece. Again, you can't hide your head in the sand. That's not going to work. You can do this, but it's going to come back to bite you. What I want you to think about is there isn't just a minor crack that happened. When COVID hit, there was a major shift, and you have to take a look at it, and you can't just try to patch that up and then continue to operate in the same manner. You have to take a look at retooling your company and taking a look at everything that's in your company and making sure that it's for this new world that we have. All right, here's a great study that I found, and I want to share it with you. It talks about the impact of COVID on the business. Now, what you'll see is on the left-hand side, this said what happened with customer satisfaction. So 11% of CEOs said it got better, customer satisfaction. 78% said it was about the same, and then 12% said it got worse. So you're looking at the blue, because that's what I really want you to focus on, that blue piece. When you take a look at employee productivity, 22% said it got worse. 25% said it got better. So there was probably no net change in productivity. But look at this, accountability, 38%. It went up 38%, accountability in the business. Communication got worse by 52%. And culture got worse by 55%. So there's a lot of different things. And one last thing, collaboration. Collaboration from CEO's perspective went down 60%. And so when I talk to you about a lot of tools and the best practices that we're going to talk about today, it's less skills and tools of how to do the job. It's more the soft skills that we need to be teaching these secondary managers. So this is a pretty shocking statistic. This will probably drive the point home, because we've gone from having a traditional office to having a hybrid office. And if we take a look at the traditional office, it was really about Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 employee attendance. And managers would dictate specific work and time for the employees. In a hybrid, it's really about shifting to more performance-based deliverables and allowing employees to have a flexible work schedule. When we look at the traditional office, it's about watching workers get work done. There's visibility into whether people are working or not. In hybrid, we had to shift to full trust mode to get the job done. Schedule check-ins to support them. When we talk about the traditional office, we expected employees to be in the office every single day, regardless of what task or what job they were doing, whether they're collaborating with an entire team, whether they just had to do 8 hours of individual work. We expected them to be in the traditional office. And in the hybrid model, there's this opportunity to use the office as a place where collaboration and teamwork comes together. But then there's the opportunity to have people work remote and not be bugged by a lot of things that are happening when they just have to work on their own. So there's such tremendous opportunity to split the work, and you have to be very intentional as a leader now, how you look at that. Traditional office was building any relationships that you had. It was building it spontaneously, and it just sort of happened. Collisions happened. And in hybrid, you have to be very intentional about these, and you have to leverage a lot of technology. And then traditional office was really about conducting annual reviews to evaluate performance. And now it's a much different beast. It's really about one-on-ones. Are you doing them at least once a month with your employees? And if your managers aren't doing it with their employees, then there's the same disconnection. So you can see there's a totally different set of skills that are needed from the traditional office to the hybrid office. And this is what was told to me a lot when I was young and I was working. And you can't just say this to people now. Hey, that's why you get paid the big bucks, is to manage this and to manage this stress. It's not about them wanting to not do a good job. It's not about them slacking. I think the American workforce did a tremendous job getting us through COVID, and now it's our turn to really take a look at the processes and procedures and make sure they're as efficient, as effective as possible. 54% of burnout this coming year is attributed to inefficient and ineffective processes, old processes that we used, but there's a lot of friction that is still there. So that's one of the things I definitely going to want you to take a look at. So one of the things I highly recommend, if you haven't implemented it, highly recommend you implement a daily 15-minute meeting. Now, our framework and structure is very unique. I don't see anyone else proposing what we do, but in that meeting, you're talking for 5 minutes up front, you're reading a book and you're doing micro learning, and you read 6 pages of a book and you get to learn from that. Second is you talk about your vision for the day, top 3 things that you're going to work on, you share that with your team, and then finally it's really about culture. So if you're interested in learning more about how we run the daily meeting, because you might have tried a daily meeting and you're probably, thinking about, hey, I can't do that again, but ours works, it sticks. But if you're interested in learning that, you should definitely be running a daily meeting to open up the lines of communication and in the lines of accountability, because everyone's got to state, hey, these are the top 3 things I'm going to look at today. Second is, I'd highly recommend that your managers read a book called Crucial Conversations. It's how to have really difficult conversations and how to do it in a professional manner and how to be extremely respectful. So those are 2 things that I'd highly recommend you take a look at in this area. And then finally, highly recommend that you're doing one-on-one mentoring calls, check-ins. We recommend you do them at least once a month. And based upon your relationship and the speed with which things are changing, you might have to do those once a week. You might have to do those once every 2 weeks. But those are when you look at the area of this first one, is you need to lean in to the new skills, the new tools that are there, and don't lean back. All right. Shift number 2, I want you to shift your mindset to a productivity anywhere mindset. That means that wherever employees are working, whether they're in the office, whether they're working from home, whether they're working remote office, that you have this mindset that we want to make them as productive as possible. I think if you take that mindset, you can then work backwards and understand the tools and the skills that they need. And then also sharing that with them, that it's a productivity anywhere mindset, they can help make this shift and make it successful. When we take a look at hybrid work, these were statistics from earlier this year. Fully in office was 20%, hybrid was 50%, and then fully remote is 30%. So I just took a look at the statistics before we jumped on the call. What do you think this percentage has shifted to? So just type in the chat, just type in, if it, in this order, fully in office, hybrid, and fully remote. What do you think it's shifted to right now? So just type that in. So if you think it's, 20, 50, 30, 20/50/30, just type in the chat. What do you think that is? All right, so we got 40, 40, 20. Yep, we got good. Okay, couple more. 10, 25, 65. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I'm going to share with you what it's shifted to, just so you understand that. Fully in office has shifted to 55. Hybrid's 30. And then fully remote is 15. Now, this was a little shocking to me when I looked at this. And I looked at a couple of different studies just to make sure I wasn't reading it wrong. But this is what is being offered today. And there are a lot of companies that are going back to fully in office. And so what I could tell you is, everyone always asks me, what's the solution for hybrid? Is it 3 in the office, 2 remote? Is it 2-3? Is it 1-4? Is it fully remote? What I can tell you is that you have to really work within your company to figure out what model is going to work best for you in your work environment. And you have to really embrace that there is a hybrid work environment, and where you can do it. I understand, look, if you're a manufacturing facility, you can't have people working hybrid, they have to be there. but what are the ways that you can offer hybrid and in other areas of your business? Because 85% of employees, when they're looking at a new job and they're looking at a place to go work, that's one of the big things that they have on their ticket list is, do you offer hybrid work? Now, let me talk to you about a couple of things. We had a lot of companies go through and do this. They redesigned the office they redesigned their office, and they redesigned it. And what they did, the approach they took was they created a return to work office task force. You probably already have one in that. But they shifted their office to be less about cubicles, more to hoteling and open floor spaces. And what's really important here is that you share the why behind why the drive to the office and back is really important. Now, I did a deep dive 2 months ago, and you can catch that replay on our YouTube channel. But in talking about that, it's really important that you get your employees involved in it. One of the key things is whether you go 3-2 or 2-3, highly recommend that you set up the morning of when everyone's back in when everyone's in the office, set up the morning to be about team collaboration, team meetings, and then the afternoon can be either smaller team or people can work individually, because a lot of times people might leave and go. So highly recommend that you focus it on the morning being very structured, and then in the afternoon you can make it be a lot more open. And we want to make sure it's really safe for employees. So redesigning the office is super powerful. And then see if you can untether, write this down. See if you can untether yourself from the, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Statistic here on the right-hand side, it talks about 80% of employees, they want flexibility in where they work. And 95 or 94% want flexibility in when they work. So having the opportunity to maybe get a workout in or do something else, they want that flexibility. So just be aware of this and see how you can bring this into your company. All right, so that's shift number 2 is to be able to do that. Shift number 3, it's really about leveraging technology. We've all used tools like Microsoft Teams and Zoom and Slack, and then we have our own tool. A lot of the members that are on the call right now, they're using Lead with Purpose. And so how are you leveraging technology to make sure you can keep people connected, engaged, and aligned, and you can really communicate at speed with each other and as things shift? So highly recommend that you continue to look at all the technology that's available and start shifting towards that for this new world of work that we have. So that's number 3. Shift number 4 is the new learning and development approach. Now, when I was coming up through the ranks, it was about sitting in a class with 30 other people. We sat in the class, we got talked to for 2 or 3 days. And then we had to take what we learned and we had to go out and try to implement it. There's a new shift that you have to take when you're looking at anything as it relates to learning and development for your entire company. So I want to do another poll here real quick. I have on the screen. And the poll, Anya's struggling to get the poll. Oh, here we go. I got it. Okay. Perfect. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Percentage of leaders who have the skills and the tools. I didn't share that last time. Here you go. Here it is. So let's go to the next one. So do you agree with the following statement? My managers receive the development opportunities that they deserve. So that's one question. And then there's a second question that we have for you. If you could answer that. How likely is your organization provide dedicated resources and time to allow your managers to upskill themselves? So just on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 fully agree with either of the statements, and 1 is disagree. So just answer those 2 questions. I can get a feel for where everyone's at. All right, let the last couple ones come in. All right, so let me share the results here. I'll do it right this time. Looks like there are some people who fully agree with that statement in your company. Fantastic that you're able to do that for your employees. And then we have a smattering of 8s and 6s and 4s, receive the development opportunities. How likely is your organization to provide dedicated resources and time to allow managers to upskill themselves? That's great. That's great to see. 10 and 9 and 8. And now it's just about picking the right skills and the tools to have them learn and upskill themselves. So let me stop sharing that. All right, so here's a couple of statistics that'll help you to look at how you need to support your employees. 54% of the world's workforce will require significant reskilling over the next few years. And 90% of organizations are really focused in on this, about their organization's process in redesigning their jobs. And again, this is one of the things I want you to really delve into and look at. I'll talk about it in the last shift and the last thing that you should be looking at. But let's stay on learning and development, because again, I was in a classroom all the time, but this was interesting what employees want. 72% of frontline employees, they want to be able to complete their training a few minutes every single day. And 80% of them want to make sure that they can do that training from any device. So laptop, mobile. And so as you're looking at the types of courses that you want to make available to your people, make sure that it has these components in it so that they can get the course done, and it's in the manner that they want to receive it. Here's a couple of slides that were really powerful for me. Knowledge declines without reinforcement. And you can see what happens. And this is what happened to me, many, many years ago, sitting in a class for 2 days, trying to take everything that I learned and implement it. So what I want you to look for in the courses for your managers is also the ability to increase the knowledge and make sure the knowledge sticks and gets implemented by reinforcing it. Now, one of the great tools that we use is the daily meeting, because every single day you're reading 6 pages of a book, and then it's being reinforced. And the daily meeting course that we have it's about a 3-hour course, but then we have you implement daily meetings immediately, and then you start implementing it. And so what happens is the interval in between when people are using it and when they learned it, it continues to get smaller and smaller and shrink. And that's going to help people to remember it, and you're going to have a much better experience, and they're going to have a much better experience also. So I really want you to focus in and looking at programs that have a learn by doing aspect. So have a that's what it's called, learn by doing aspect. You learn what it is that you have to do, and then you put it into practice, and that's how you really learn. Additionally, 79% of employees said that more learning at their companies would definitely increase their level of engagement. And I love this quote by Benjamin Franklin, an investment in education always pays the best or the highest rate of return. Okay, shift number 5, as we look to close out this deep dive, shift number 5 is really about, we call it fast attack. And we have an entire fast attack program born out of my time in the submarine force that helps you become really agile and adaptable, all learned by doing. But I want you to think of a fast attack company. I want you to think about your ability to have tools, organizational framework that you can put in place that's going to help your employees be successful, stay aligned, be extremely agile, and then navigate the really choppy waters that are going to continue to come at us, not only in 2023, but definitely in the future. So as you go into 2023, we're having a lot of companies look at, how am I looking at every single part of my company and making sure that while it served us well before COVID, are we looking at it and taking the inefficiencies and wringing those all out? And so that's the perspective that I want you to have. You have to look at this from a totally different lens and viewpoint. And I want you to take a look at every single part of your company and really look at it. I'd rather you spend time, if there's 8 different parts of your company you need to look at and see if the processes and procedures are right and you are fast attack, I'd rather you spend time on one in a quarter, fast attack that, go to the next quarter, do the second one, fast attack that. And that's the approach that I highly recommend that you have. So here's shocking to me, because we're in and around strategy, but strategic planning. I have a question for you. What percentage of businesses have a strategic plan this year? I'm going to stop sharing. And let's do this. So what percentage of businesses have a strategic plan? You can see the choices that you can choose from. What percentage of businesses have a strategic plan? Okay, good. So it's very interesting. Last year, the percentage of businesses that had a strategic plan, and just about pre-COVID, it was about 65%. And this year, it's only 50%. So only 50% of companies have a strategic plan. Now, I believe that the old way of doing strategic planning is so cumbersome that it doesn't work in this environment. People just don't know what they need to jump to and get to have something that's more agile and more effective. But it's really important that you put a strategic plan together, because your managers are going to need to communicate that strategic plan down to everyone else. And it's really important that they're connected to it and you find something that's extremely agile. Second question I have for you is, you can just look at it. In this last year, what percentage of executives and what percentage of businesses asked for external help with business strategy? What percentage of executives? So you can see, oh, I got to launch it. All right, here we go. What percentage of executives want external help with their business strategy? Yep. Okay, so we'll just end it and let me share the results. It turns out that companies are asking for help in business and strategy more than ever before. So this year it's been 90%. 90% of executives are looking to outside help to help them. And I believe this is because the old tool that they had and maybe they didn't use and then maybe they didn't need in the disruptive environment is now become totally obsolete, and they're trying to find that new tool. So let me stop sharing. And I love this quote by George Patton, and it's what we really think about. A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week. And so we definitely take that approach with not feeling that everything has to be exactly perfect, but how do you put something in place, and then how do you execute it, and how do you shift and adjust on the fly? And, you know, a lot of you are using the one-page alignment plan that you have online, so you can do that and stay connected, engaged in line, because it's one page, simple to understand, it's easy to share with others. So I want you to take a look at all of your different aspects of your business, though. And this was just one aspect to look at, is business strategy, but what are the other areas you can look at? Finance, HR, onboarding, all those other areas. I want you to take a look at it from a different lens and find out, how can I fast attack that? How can I put it in a manner that's really simple to implement? And if things change, that it's extremely agile. All right. If you are interested in understanding whether you are fast attack, and we can put this in the chat too, but you can take a fast attack analysis survey. It's free to do. We have you look at the different areas of your business. And if you want to take that, you can take it. We'll send you a result and a report, give you the areas that you're doing really well in, and then take a look at the areas that you need to get better at. All right, so these are the 5 different shifts that I really want you to think about leaning into for 2023. And these are not only going to help you as a leader, but these are going to tremendously help all of your employees, all of your managers, to help them, you know, navigate this disruptive world. Remember, it's lean in, don't lean back, a productivity anywhere mindset. I want you to really look at leveraging technology The new learning and development, don't use all the old tools and the old practices. Make sure you're taking a look at the learn by doing aspect. And then I want you to fast attack your company in any manner that you can. All right, one of the best ways for you to learn about fast attack leadership is I'm going to run we run boot camps, and our next one's on March 6th through 8th. But I'm going to run a behind the scenes. If you are interested in learning about boot camp, you can bring yourself, you can bring your team. I'm going to run a behind the scenes look. We just put this on the calendar this morning, December 22nd, 8 a.m. PST. I'm going to talk to you about what boot camp looks like if you're interested in learning more about it. And I think we're going to put that in the chat. Is that correct, Anya?
Yeah, we're going to be putting it into the Q&A answered section in just a second for everyone. You'll also receive an email tomorrow morning with the link, and then it's also already posted on our events page. So I'm about to put that into the Q&A section. There is a link under what is the question is, what is the link to bootcamp registration? You guys should be able to see the link there. If you can't see the link, it's on the events page, and then also will be sent in an email to you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you, Anya. Hey, I've run a little over. I apologize. I'm excited about helping you and helping your managers become more successful, but I do want to open up to any questions that you have. So if you can type in the chat, and then Anya, if you see any in the other area in the Q&A, just let me know. But what are any questions that you have in talking about that or anything that I talked about today? Yes, the link to bootcamp registration should be in there, so you can take a look at that. Okay, here's a question. So the question is, there's been a shift in the percentage of fully remote, hybrid, and fully in person. Do I believe that's going to continue going? What I think is going to happen is I think it's going to oscillate towards what ultimately will become the format that's going to work for different industries. Again, I wish I had the exact formula for what was going to happen, but it had to swing. The pendulum swung all the way to one side, then it swung back all the way to the other side, and I think it's going to just keep going in like this, and we're going to figure out what that looks like. What I would encourage you to not worry about is exactly having that same percentage for your company. I want you to really ask your employees and then look at your business and make sure you find something that works for both the business and for your employees. That's probably the most important thing, but hybrid is here to stay. We're not going to unscramble that egg. Okay, another question here is, should we look into learning programs, or what other books can my managers read? So one of the things that we highly recommend you do is take a look at some of the New York Times bestsellers. These can be really simple books you can look at. Another great book we recommend teams look at, and especially for this coming year, is called Checklist Manifesto. It has you take a look at a process and make sure that you have it really efficient and really effective. So Checklist Manifesto is really good. There's 5 Dysfunctions of the Team by Patrick Lencioni. Start with Why. I mean, there's all these great books. In Q1, we have an exciting announcement. I'll just give you a little prequel here. Is we have a university that's going to be launched. It's going to have all the books in there that you should read, why you're going to read them, the purpose behind each of the books, what it's going to teach, and the skills that you're going to learn. So excited about that. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. Derek's on the call right now. He's like, Mark, why'd you do that? But I had to do that. And so there's a lot of great books that you can read. Okay, and Anya just reminded me that, hey, read the book Leading with Purpose. That's our own book. So definitely appreciate that. Okay, I had a question about boot camp. Boot camp is a 2-day event, actually 3-day event. You come in the night before. We have a nice reception, welcome reception, and then it's 2 days. It's pretty intense. We go really hard at it. Go through all 7 of the components of the Fast Attack Leadership Framework, and there's tons of great takeaways that you can implement immediately in your business. So definitely would encourage you, if you are interested, you want to get a sneak peek, the December 22nd, which is next week. I'm going to, again, pull the curtain back on that, and you can see whether it's something that might be right for your company and for you. All right, so I think that's it. Look, we've had a fantastic year. We're excited to continue to grow the community. We're excited that you've been here. I want to wish each and every single one of you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and a Happy Holidays. Thank you for thanks for showing up.